everyone, Kim Snyder here. Welcome to the international headquarters of Sync to CRM. Glad to have you join me on this Saturday afternoon. So in yesterday's video, we talked about the 3 big challenges facing small business marketers. And just to recap, those were needing more leads, needing more time, and technical overwhelm. On that video yesterday, I encouraged you in the strongest terms to attend the webinar on Wednesday because I think that I can really help you with all 3 of those areas. And I told you that today I was going to send you a video to help you get a win before the webinar even begins. So here it is. Today, I am going to walk you through setting up a new type of ad that Facebook introduced in late 2015 called a lead ad. And what's cool about a lead ad is that someone can fill out the opt-in form or registration form without ever leaving Facebook. And that's really big when you understand that 60 to 70% of the traffic on Facebook, and therefore the traffic for your ads, is mobile. So for a mobile user, I don't care how big phones are getting these days. Here's my little, small old iPhone, right? No matter how big they get, still clicking through to your landing page and filling out a form is a pain on a mobile device. But a lead ad form is native to Facebook. They don't leave, which of course makes Facebook happy too. And since Facebook already knows all their information, they just pre-fill as much of that form as they can, and that takes all the friction out of the process for your audience. In fact, they can submit, they being, a lead, can submit a simple form in as little as 2 taps. And then what happens from there is we, being Sync to CRM, grab that lead data, we bring it over to whatever platform you're going to use to respond and then begin your relationship with them outside of Facebook, and you're off to the races. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over here to the computer, and I'm going to show you how to get all that set up and running and connected to your account. Okay? All right, let's do it. So we're going to start here in my Facebook news feed. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go to the ad manager. We're going to set up a lead ad. So you can get to that either here on the left in your ads manager or in this drop down right here. Okay. Once I get to the ad manager, I am going to tell it I want to create an ad. Okay, before we start creating the ad, let me explain a little bit about Facebook campaign structure in case you're not familiar with that. There are 3 layers or containers for your ads in the ads manager. So at the highest level is the campaign, and this is where you set the objective, as you can see here. Inside the campaign, so think of this as like the file drawer, and it's going to contain objects that are similar, okay? The next layer down, if you want to think of it as the file folder, is called the ad set. And the ad set, each ad set has its own audience, that's who you're targeting the ad to, as well as a budget and schedule. And then inside the ad set are the ads. So you can think of those as the individual pieces of paper inside the file folder. So you've got file drawer, file folder, and pieces of paper. Campaign, ad set, and ad. And the wizard in Ad Manager is going to work you through the setup of these, starting at the campaign and working your way down to the ad. So what the first thing it's telling me is I need to choose my objective. Now, for a lead ad, the objective for that, in order to get a lead ad, we have to say collect leads for your business. It expands, and I have to choose which page this is going to be connected to. In my case, that's going to be Sync to CRM. I'm going to give it a name. So we'll call this 5 Tools Lead Magnet. That's what we'll be advertising. So I say go next. Now I'm in the ad set. So in the ad set, what we want to do is we want to think through who our ideal target audience is and how can we give Facebook enough information about that audience so that it can put our ad in front of about 1 million of that audience. So right here you can see before I've done anything, right? Before I've put any sort of criteria in, right now it's saying that the potential reach of this ad is 186 million, a little bit too big. So as a sweet spot, if you can come up with an audience that is well defined for your specific ideal customer, but brings this number down to about 1 million people for a cold audience, that's a good starting point. So let's imagine that one of my customer avatars for Sync to CRM was the person in large real estate teams that handled the online marketing, because I know that they do or should be doing a lot of Facebook advertising. So for each customer avatar that I have, I am going to always make different ad sets and different ad creative. So this one's going to be for the digital marketer on a real estate team. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I can skip. This is a cold audience here. I'm going to stick for the moment, just to make it simple, just in the United States. I could make this, let's just say 21, just to narrow it down a little bit. This person could easily be in that range, could be both men and women. So now here's where I'm going to come down to detailed targeting, and I'm going to start with real estate. And you can see as I start typing that it autofills and tells me how many people are in each of those categories. So I'm going to start with real estate as an interest. And then I want to, and that's 21 million people. So I'm trying to get to between 1 million and 1.5 million. So I want to narrow this audience down to try to get it closer to 1 million to 1.5 million. So I'm going to say digital marketing. And you can see digital media, digital marketing. All right. And perfect. It recalculates that at 1.3 million, which is just about exactly where I want this ad targeting to be for this particular ad. Okay. So I'm going to set my budget here, and let's just say for now I'm going to do, because I'm just starting out and I'm going to use this to just try some things and get some data. So I'm going to start out at $10 a day. Once I have something that works, I can start to scale it up. The optimization is for leads. It has set that automatically based on the fact that I chose a lead ad, and I can give this a name. All right. So we'll call this digital marketer and real estate interest, 21 to 55 years old, all for men and women. And now I move to the next step. Okay, so at this point you can see now we're starting to create our first ad. Now typically you want to always have at least 2 ads in an ad set, because what Facebook will do is it will basically split test them against one another and then start to optimize for the one that's doing better. But for purposes of this little tutorial, I'm only going to do one. You can also see that you have, in terms of the imagery that you use, you can choose either an image, a slideshow, or upload a video. Now, I actually do not have a image created specifically for this customer persona because I just made it up. But you would, right? So you might have, something with the sold sign in the background. You get the idea. But I'm just going to go through my a library of images for the 5 tools and see if I could find that. I'm quite slow today for some reason, but this is the one I'm looking for right here. So I'm going to select it. Oh, I don't want that one. Get rid of that and say done. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a headline and a text, some text, and it'll look like this. Okay, I had to give that a little thought, but let's just say we're going to go with this for the ad. The realtors, did you know Facebook ads are the hottest way to bring in new clients and listings? That's called dog whistle copy. It calls out exactly who we are targeting this ad to. The headline, free 5 must-have Facebook ad tools. Download our free guide, summary and quick review of our top picks for 5 most powerful Facebook ad tools, again, for realtors. Notice I said free. Notice I said quick. All those things. So this is our ad. So far it looks like any other ad, but what makes a lead ad different is that when they click this button, rather than taking them to a landing page, it's actually going to pop up a form that they fill out. And when they fill out that form, you're going to send them the guide. So what comes next is creating our form. So let's do that. We do that by saying create form. And one thing you should know, I'm going to just say new form, name your form. So I'll call it 5 Tools Realtors, so that if I had other forms, different forms for my other customer avatars, I could do that and know which was which when I was looking at them. I'm going to say next. So notice when you first click over that the default is email and full name, and full name is fine, quick and easy. Sync to CRM will split it into first and last. So if you want to just leave it like this, that is fine. If I expand this, you can see that I do have other options as well. So I could take out full name, say first and last name. For me, I don't really care enough about these other things to risk lowering the conversion rate. But if I was, rather than targeting a realtor, if I was a realtor, for example, knowing the zip code would be very important, for example, possibly the relationship status and what have you. So in this case, I am not going to do any of those things. I'm just going to leave this form quick and dirty like this. One other thing you should know, though, is you also have the ability to add up to 3 custom questions. And not only can you use their questions, you can choose from among their questions, but you can also create your own question, up to 3 of them, and ask for those answers on the form. But again, remember that these are mostly mobile, and to type answers to questions is hard, which is the whole reason that a lead ad was created in the first place. Okay, so we're just going to leave those off. You have to include your privacy, a link to your privacy policy. If you want to add a custom disclaimer, you can. I'm not going to. This is not for your landing page, but rather once someone has completed your form, there is a button that pops up that will allow them to visit your site if they choose to. So you're going to give them a link in case they click on that. Oops, that is not what I want. I'll just send them to the features page for now. That sounds like a good plan. Now this is something that, a context card is something that Facebook added after the fact. When they had a little bit of experience with their lead ads, what they realized is that these were a little too easy to fill out. People were opting in and then not really realizing what they had done or what they were going to get. So they created these context cards, which is almost like a little, it's not really a landing page, but it's just a little information card that pops up on your product or service before someone starts to fill out the form. I do not have any of these made. I am going to skip this for now. However, I will tell you that it is a good plan to use a context card. Okay. Now it says preview your form. The form is very plain, but I will tell you it's not quite this plain, and you have no ability to change the order or the look or design of it whatsoever. It is a very plain Jane form, but that's okay. Everybody else's is too. So I'm going to say create form. Okay, and at this point, my first lead ad is created, and all I have to do is click place order. It'll be submitted to Facebook, who will hopefully approve it. And then I'm ready to start bringing leads back to my CRM. So we'll do that next. Okay, our ad is approved. So if you would like to see what this ad, and by the way, I'm going to just turn this off so I'm not spending money on that. If you would like to see what your ad looks like, the way you do that is you have to look at it in preview. So you just click all the way. Right now I'm in the campaign. I know that because it says campaign up here. If I just start clicking, now I'm in the ad set. See how it changed to ad set? And then I click again and I'm in the ad. If I go up here to the preview, it shows me just a simple preview, but in order to actually see the form, I have to go all the way to the post permalink. So just want to, again, make a point about these forms. They're very, very, very simple, right? Which is the point. But again, because I did not do a context card, I just want to show you something. So here it's saying, realtors, did you know Facebook ads are the hottest way to bring in new listings? Free must-have Facebook ad tools. If I click this form comes up. Now, as you can see, I've been doing some testing, but normally it would just be my name and email would be filled in. And even though it's got this little disclaimer down here, when I click submit, I'm done. That form has been submitted and I'm now opted into my list and getting, autoresponders and all sorts of things. And when you're not used to something that's this frictionless, it is very easy to sort of go, whoa, wait a minute, like I wasn't ready yet. So again, it is definitely pros and cons. That's why it was created, to make it easy for people to submit. But at the same time, you definitely want to use those context cards. So I'm going to cancel this for now because we're going to come back and submit this after we've hooked this up to our CRM and put something behind it. All right. So we've got our lead ad created. Now, one of the questions people ask all the time is, okay, well, when I fill out this form, where does this data go? And that's an excellent question. I have to go back to my page because lead ads are connected to your business page. And when I click through from the business manager to my page, to where I manage my page, as the page admin, you'll see up here I have something called publishing tools. If I click on publishing tools, now I have lead ad forms and forms library. This lists each of my lead ads, and you can see that it gives me a count of how many. You can see I actually don't use lead ads really. These are every single one of these are for testing. But nonetheless, and if I did, without any third-party software, the only way to get to this data is to download it as a CSV file and then take it over to whatever you use, Infusionsoft, MailChimp, etc., and upload it, and then kick off the automation or the email with in this case, the 5 tools. But, it's pretty incongruous that they can fill out that form so quickly and then might have to wait 24 hours until you get around to downloading the lead list and uploading it to your email platform. That makes no sense at all. And that is actually one of the things that Sync to CRM does for you. So rather than download this, let's go first. We're going to set up this new lead ad in Sync to CRM, and then we're going to go create the autoresponder in our email platform. Okay, so here I am at Sync to CRM. Log in. Okay, I'll say create new. Weapon is a lead ad. Facebook is the social media account. We're going to put this in my Infusionsoft account. I choose which lead ad. Notice that the one we just created is here at the top. By the way, these are attached to your pages, so if you have multiple pages, you may need to scroll down to find the one you just created, but in this case, it's right at the top. This gives me the option of importing any existing leads as a one-time deal, but since this is brand new, there are no existing leads for that lead ad. I'm just going to turn that off, although it wouldn't hurt it to have left it. And now I have to do my field mapping. Now in this case, Sync to CRM holds on to your last field mapping, so you don't have to redo it each and every time. Here I've got first name, last name, and email, but if you remember, the fields for this particular lead ad were just full name and email. So I'm going to remove first and last, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add full name. Notice that it, as the default, gives me split into first and last. I say add mapping. Now, if I want, I can tell Infusionsoft to add a tag or tags as it adds this lead. We'll just give it the free access tag as it comes in. We can choose if we have a custom audience built, and I have quite a few. I can also choose to immediately add it to a custom audience. I'll just use that one called test. And I can also, if I choose to, send an email notification. So I say continue, and my lead ad is set up and waiting for the first lead to be submitted. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do now is go over to Infusionsoft, but note that this could have been ActiveCampaign or MailChimp. And any of whatever platform you're working with, we need to set up an autoresponder to send them their 5 tools guide when they submit the form. So let's head on over to Infusionsoft in this case. Okay, here we are in my Infusionsoft account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just build a quick little campaign. Now you may have added this to something that already existed and probably would also have something a lot more than what I'm about to do here, but just to show you what I'm going to do here is use a goal. And for Infusionsoft, actually, if I had been thinking, I would have used a different tag for this. But anyway, what's going to kick this off is the fact that it applied a tag on its way in. And if you recall, the tag I told it to apply was free access, this one. What I really should have done, if I had been thinking ahead, would have been to use one of these form tags. You'll see I have tags for each of my forms, and so it makes sense to apply that tag and then use that tag to kick off the rest of the automation. But I didn't. I used this one, so we'll just go with it for now. And I say save, and then I drag out a sequence, and that sequence is going to send the email. You can see I actually already have a email built for that, so I'll just use that. Easy. Okay. So hi, first name, thanks for requesting access, blah, 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 right? This is my email. I'm going to make that all live and ready to go. And now when my lead ad is submitted on Facebook, they're going to get my email. So the 3 pieces are the lead ad itself, Sync to CRM to tie the lead ad to your marketing platform, and then the autoresponder sequences in your marketing platform. Now, had this been, say, ActiveCampaign, then I could have triggered this email using either adding them, subscribing to a list or a tag as the automation trigger. In MailChimp, I could have used them being added to the list. So whatever it is that you need from that particular platform in order to create an automation trigger, that's what you're going to tell Sync to CRM to do, and that is how they all tie together. So let's go try this out now. We're back at the preview of our lead ad. I'm going to click the download button, pull up the form. We'll change this to something else. It's Masters Weekend here, which is just down the road from me in Augusta. So we'll make this Bubba Watson. I have no idea how he's doing, but we'll change it to Bubba anyway and say submit. Now you can see I could either close this and move on down my news feed, or if I was really curious, I could go to my website. I'm just going to close this. And now let's come over here to Sync to CRM. We can see that we've got the lead has been submitted. Actually, I also submitted another one. That's why there's two. And then we can come over here and look over here at our campaign. And you see we've got these 3 in queued. One of those is Bubba, and I'll show you that. Okay, there is Bubba, as well as some of my other tests. And then you can also see over here the final piece, which is the email that came to Bubba. Here's your access to the Facebook ads, Infusionsoft Power Tool list. You requested, download it now. Hey, Bubba, there you go. And so that is the full loop, again, of the 3 pieces: the Facebook lead ad, Sync to CRM, taking that data, moving it over to the campaign with a tag being applied in this case, and that tag kicking off this sequence to send Bubba the email. And of course, you could keep this going, do whatever you like with it. So I hope you found that helpful. The interesting thing about lead ads, because they're fairly new, if you haven't been using Facebook ads, then lead ads are a great way to get started because they're fairly simple and easy to understand and probably incremental to anything that you're doing right now. If you have been doing Facebook advertising previously, but you haven't taken advantage of lead ads yet, well, now you have a good reason to go ahead and do that. So I've gone on long enough in this video. Just a reminder, what comes next is the webinar itself. So I will, because I know you're busy, send you a few reminders the day of with the link to join, and I will see you on the webinar.